Hello, all, and welcome to this 3-day weekend beer review. It's a 3-day weekend, so that means 3 reviews. No surprise there. I'm going to dub this one the colonization. I am so unbelievably lazy that all I did was I woke up and then I played colonization for looks like to be 8 hours straight. Now, before you go and start hammering me for my laziness, yes, I am incredibly lazy, but it's a very frugal way of being lazy in that I'm not spending any money. I went and bought like this copy like how many years ago at discount on Steam, and it's like, I've only now gotten around to playing it after getting tired of playing various Civilization 4 mods. So it's like, I, I don't know. With libraries and like retro games, there's really no real reason for me to spend tons of money on anything other than alcohol and tobacco, and perhaps even exercise, so I don't die horribly young. Anyways, what are we reviewing this afternoon? We are reviewing, and this is a re-review. Why are we re-reviewing it? Because I know better about this beer now. I enjoyed it quite the last time, and it's also tweaked the recipe because the ABV has changed slightly. And this is Maui Brewing's Waimea Red Ale. This is an American red ale style. And reading the back here, brewed with New Zealand, Waimea, and Mosaic Syro hops. This red ale showcases notes of pine, citrus, and tropical fruits. The balance of hoppy and malt character creates roundness and balance. Where's my hammock? This is 6.3 ABV, so ABV went up just a wee bit. And last time I said that Waimea hops were Hawaiian hops. I'm not sure where I got that, mostly because Waimea on the Big Island is fairly high up. So I would think that would be like the one place you could grow hops, but apparently no hops grow in Hawaii. These are hops from New Zealand, given the name Waimea from Maui, which is the same in Hawaiian. Um, I'm not sure if the meaning is the same, but it's pronounced the same. So without much further ado, let's go and review this beer. Now, like I said, I really enjoyed this the last time I had it. It's quite a good beer. Did I mention I haven't eaten anything all day long? After like 3 beers last night and a pot pie, it was like, yeah, too much calories. You know what I mean? So, a reddish amber brown color with an off-white to beige head, about a finger's worth, redolent of dankness, tropical fruit, citrus, almost like citrus tropical, like a tangelo or something, that very juicy kind of citrus, almost sweet citrus. Underneath that, you can smell the caramelized hops. It's almost like marmalade on toast. Just an absolutely wonderful smell. This is such a well-made beer. Now, onto the palate, shall we? While the nose is sweet, the mouthing is not as much so. Perfect balance of hops to malts. Hop bitterness up front with an almost caramelized toasty taste that emerges in the mids. Fairly thick mouthfeel for 6.3 ABV. And in the long finish, there are those hop notes that I particularly associate with New Zealand hops, almost like an apricot and stone fruit feel on the palate in the long finish. There's also those tropical notes, but it really merges in with that malts there. So you just kind of have like this toasty character with hop bitterness and almost like a almost like toasted brown bread with the marmalade, just like it was in the nose, also kind of existing there on the palate as well. I love that long finish. That's where, in the finish, that's where I think New Zealand hops really stand out, to a lesser extent also in the front. But in the finish, they have that different dimensionality to them that I so quite enjoy. Yes. As it warms up, the bitterness is kind of increasing a little bit, but not so much so. If I could have one quibble with this beer, it almost seems like even though the malts and the hops are very well balanced, it's very much more a hop show in that the hops are very bright and present there. It almost comes across as a red IPA rather than just a plain red ale. But then, it's kind of sitting on that border there. Your mileage may vary, perceptions may change. All in all, kind of wrapping this one up fairly quickly since this is a review. This is good red ale using New Zealand style hops. Well, New Zealand sourced hops, not New Zealand style hops. So it has a lot of those hop notes that are variant from old world hops and, the Pacific Northwest New World style hops as well. And Sierra Nevada does New Zealand style New Zealand hopping every so often. Um, but it's good to see, local brewers kind of use it and use it very well. So, Waimea Red Ale base, but really more of a show for the New Zealand hops. And the red malts are still there, caramel malts are still there, but it's really the hops kind of steal the show there. Well, folks, that's your long weekend, 3-day weekend beer review. Gonna ending it early because I'm out of things to say and getting hungry. Cheers.